How to apply that quadratic formula then to a numerical example. First step, step 1, find A, B and C and actually write them down. So the A is going to be the term in front, or it's called a coefficient of x squared, and that is 1. The second is to find the coefficient of x, which is B, and that is 6. And finally, what's the term at the end? That's not 8, it's minus 8. Minus 8. And the second step, apply, well actually not really apply, it's substitute. Substitute into the formula. And the formula is, well, this is something that either you would want to remember or revise the process from the first video. It's minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. It's common to accidentally not put the whole fraction over the to make the denominator underneath everything on the numerator. This bit here is very important. If you don't include this part of the fraction, then the whole thing goes wrong. So just be aware that that is all the way to the beginning. It's all over 2a. Alright, so how do we find the values of x? We just substitute them in. So minus b is minus 6 plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 36, minus 4, and I encourage you now to use brackets and substitute your a and your c in. The reason for that is because you don't want any double negatives to get missed out, and the same here. Next, to simplify what's in the square root, is going to be plus or minus the square root of, and 36, now you've got a minus, and a minus here makes a plus, so then you're adding this term. Overall then, it would be greater than 36, and it would be 68. And it's all over 2. Now, you've got to try to find the two values of x. So x1 is choosing the plus here. So that's going to be minus 6 plus the square root of 68 all over 2, which is approximately 1.12. Now, you've got to look at the question here. Whenever it says 2 decimal places, that indicates that you're going to use the quadratic formula, and that you need to write here as well 2dp. And this curly equals says that it's approximately equal to this because it's not exact. The number would keep going. So that's x1, and x2 is doing the same thing as we did before, but with a minus here. So that's going to be minus root 68 all over 2, and that is approximately minus 7.12 to 2 decimal places. Actually, what I should have done is done the x1 with a negative and the x2 with a positive, because then the x1 is less than the x2. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to change that to an x2 with a plus and an x1 with a minus. Okay, let's have a look at the next video and the next example.